Welcome to Sincere Sinews. So softening through yourself, allow the earth to support you. Gently let the weight shift. So it could be forward, sideways, back. Allowing the weight to drop through the bones of the body, the feet bones. Into the earth. Letting the knees bend a little and creating a little shake through the body. Soft bounces through the knees. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms. And then transitioning into a deeper bend. Letting the hands now slide down to bent knees. Tapping the knee bones. Feeling the texture, hearing the sound. And then sliding from the kneecap down to the larger of the two lower leg bones, the tibia, and imagining a ligament that connects this lower leg bone to the knee cap. Let the hands rest on the knees and start to circle. Change the direction, your knees circling. Let the hands now slide down to the shins and lengthen out the spine. Soften the knees, release the hands. And then coming to feel behind the back of the knees. And on the outer and the inner side, you may feel tendons. Tendons for the hamstrings, the upper leg muscles at the back. And then we're squeezing down through the calf muscles. There's two on each leg until you come to the Achilles tendon. So each of the calf muscles tapers down here. It has the Achilles tendon attachment to the heel bone. If you can reach the heel bone, give it a tap. And then allow yourself to relax over in the forward fold. You may stay with legs bent. You may lengthen the legs. And then we bend the knees, bring the pelvis forward, and allow a roll up. And into our first flow. The hands are coming to the hip bones. The weight is in the right leg, and the left leg is swinging. 1, 2. On the third one, the leg comes back. The front one stays bent. The arms are coming up. Then the back leg bends. A deep lunge. And come back. The hands down, either above and below the knee, or both below the knee, creating your pyramid, lengthening out the spine. Soften through the front leg, come back in, and we're finding a balance with that left leg. And then it's going to come into the tree. It might be quite high up, you might be lower down. Hands coming down to the heart, releasing the leg. And then transitioning to the other side. So hands to the pelvis. Weight now in the left leg. And the right leg is swinging. On this third one, when it comes back, you take the arms up. We bend the back leg. We lengthen the back leg and the front. We come into the pyramid. We soften the front leg, come through, take it into a balance. And from here into your tree. The leg comes down, the hands come down to the heart. And then we're finding a wide-ish position. It's not too wide. The hands now are coming to the groin area where the inside of the leg meets the pelvis. Just softly place the fingers there. And we're feeling into the tendons of the adductor muscles. The adductor muscles, the 4 that are on the inside of the leg. As we bend, you might feel them moving underneath your hands. We have another bend where we scoop up the earth. The hands are then coming to prayer position, right up above the head, and then we're swiveling to the left, opening into warrior two. We're repeating that. From here, we're letting the front leg or the bent leg straighten, the arms come up, we turn to face forwards, we return with a bent leg, then we face forward with a straight leg, back to warrior two, and then facing forwards, we bend the legs, we arc over to the left. Returning to start again. So connecting with the tendons here. So tendons are connecting muscles to bone, whereas the ligaments connect bones to bones. The adductor muscles here. We scoop the earth. We bring it up to the heart, hands over. Swivel now to the right. Bend into warrior two. Repeat. From here, straighten the front leg, turning to face forwards. Back to warrior two. Turning forwards. Back to warrior two. Then we turn forwards again. We bend and arc over to the right. Coming out, returning to a parallel position. We're pressing now to feel the lower arm bones. There are two bones here. Then we're placing the opposite hand into the elbow crease in the center there. If you bend and lengthen, flex and extend, you'll possibly feel a tendon connecting the biceps muscle down into the lower arm. We'll try on the other side. First, we start with a sense of bone tissue designed with its density to support weight, to give structure. And then feeling into the tendon here, connecting muscles that are about moving our body, moving our bones. Then coming back to the other hand, place the opposite one onto the fingers and then pushing. Might turn to the side, that might be a bit clearer. And the other one. I'm going to let the hands circle, connecting into the wrists. The other way. Lace the fingers together, pushing the palms up to the ceiling. Palms together to the heart, but away from the heart, so rather touching a little bit away. And we're going to push the palms together, release. Push the palms together, release. Push, release. One more time. Then we're linking the thumbs behind the back, circling the shoulders, bringing the shoulder blades together, lengthening the arms away from the body. You could stay here, or you can bring that into a forward fold. Soften through the knees, release, roll on, back up, and another flow. We're going to take the arms up. We are bending the knees, swinging them down, returning. Swinging down, returning. We're going to let the leg come back again. The front leg, which is the right, the back leg, the left, bends. We're going to link the thumbs together again, lengthen, bring the shoulder blades together, and then coming into a peaceful warrior. We come back out of that, release the arms. You may need to bring the back leg in a little bit as we find our goose or dove wings and find some flight. Finding the bird sense. And then we're going to change that from bird into waves. So pushing and pulling the waves. The next time that you push, bring yourself forwards. The left arm coming underneath the right at the elbows. Trying to come right across. You might stay in a V, or you might bring them into the eagle arms. Keeping the elbows up as high as is comfortable. Feeling into the condition of your shoulders. And then releasing. So before we change to the other side, we're going to shift the weight into the toes, balls of the feet, and just rise and lower. We're going to cross the arms, doesn't matter which way, elbows up, feeling into the calf muscles, the Achilles tendon on each side. And then the other side. So we start with the swings again. After the second one, take the right leg back. We're going to roll the shoulders, link the thumbs, and then come into the peaceful warrior. Releasing, coming out. The back leg just comes in a little bit, and we find some wings taking us forwards and back. We change that now into pushing and pulling the waves. On the next push, coming in, the right arm under the left, crossing the elbows, creating a V. You might be able to wrap round for the eagle arms, connecting into the sensations of the shoulders. If it gets too much, you can always release to the V. And then finding your way out of this. Take a moment just to stand, see how your energy has possibly shifted from when you started. I will change the camera angle. And then when you're ready, making your way onto hands and knees. On hands and knees, we're shifting the weight forwards and back. So if you're not here yet, don't rush. Let the movement settle. And then taking the left hand, let it turn over. So you're on the back of the hand, and try the rocking forwards and backwards again. Feel what happens into the wrist. Coming out of that, and then changing to the other hand. So turns under, and then you rock forwards and back. And the rocking will put weight in and out of the wrist, just to how it feels for you. Release. Then we are turning one hand. We'll start with the left. We're turning it so the fingers face our knees. Then we're going to try to bring the other hand. You might stay with one hand and then change over to the other and have a little rock. Then give one hand a shake out. Give the other hand a shake out. We come now to the left leg. For the calf muscles, the Achilles tendon and the hamstrings, all at the back of the leg. We push in, release. Then when the weight is more into the hands, just let the leg lift up. From here, you're going to bend and lengthen. Feel that in the hamstrings, at the back. So I'm changing the feet. Sometimes they're pointed, sometimes they're flexed. You can have a play with that. And we bring that down and get ready for the other side. So it's the right leg lengthens, we rock in. When the weight is into the hands more, the leg comes up, we flex and extend with flexed feet, with pointed feet, with a combination. And let that come down, either a high or a low kneeling position, to let the hands have a good shake out. So our first flow, hands come down. We've had the toes curled under. And we're up into the downward facing dog. And when you're here, walking out. But the heels basically lift one then the other. Then we are taking the left leg. We're trying to spring it forwards. The right foot might need to come back down a bit. And we're going to take the left arm and bring it up. So we have a twist. We bring that down. The back knee comes down. You will lose my head probably. I'm going to come up there. The arms come above the head. Then the arms are coming back. I'm going to link the thumbs, lengthen the arms away, come forward. Release the arms and possibly lengthen the leg back. We'll soften this knee. Both hands to the right. We'll let that left leg come back. I'm going to turn so the other side is more visible. And then we'll go again. So toes curling under to push you into the downward dog. We are walking through the feet. The right leg this time is hopping forward. Take the left leg back a bit. The left hand stays down and the right arm comes up. So it's a twisted lunge. We often do it from the knee coming up. This time we've done it from a downward dog. We bring that back down with the knee. We transition into this low warrior one. From here, we link the thumbs together behind, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, forward fold. Release the hands, the arms, possibly lengthen the leg. Both hands to the left, so we can bring the leg back. So there will be tendons and ligaments throughout the spine, ligaments connecting bone to bone, tendons, muscles to bone. We are fish swishing, so the legs will come one way, you look that side and then the other. It creates a lateral bend in the spine. We transition now to arcing spine up and down. And let that settle. And then we're trying to find rotations in the spine. So I'm going to start circling the pelvis and let that wrap all the way up through the spine to the head. And then we'll try the other way. So start with circling the pelvis in the opposite direction. And then let that all wrap up through the spine. And settle. And our last flow on hands and knees. So we're going to take the hands further forwards. We're going to bring the weight across. If you bring in the gluteus muscles or the buttock muscles, draw them in, that hopefully will support the lower back. Draw in the abdominals too. And then very slowly we're going to lower down into the Sphinx. Again, you can draw the abdominals and the buttock muscles in to support the lower back. If there's any strain on the lower back, please adjust your position, possibly come down lower. And then we're going to Find our way back to elbows, knees. We're curling the toes under. We're hopefully leaving the arms forwards, and we're drawing back. The pelvis can either be in the air or it might drop onto the heels. From here, we slide the hands in a bit and find ourselves back into a downward dog. This time we're being still and we're letting the feet come in a little bit closer. We're coming to look underneath the right arm. You might be able to bring the left hand to the outside of the right lower leg, which will create a deeper twist. And then we come out of that. Back down. And the right leg is going to lift up, toes tap across to the other side. So I will turn, ready for the opposite. Emphasis on the left side. So the hands come a little bit further forward. We bring the weight. We draw in the abdominals, the gluteus muscles. Might stay quite high. They might drop down. From here, we lower onto forearms. And then we find our way back, curling the toes under, but leaving the hands as possible forwards. We either stay in a high child or we lower it by bringing the pelvis down to the heels and the head to the floor. We come back up. We're into a downward facing dog, but this time we're bringing the feet in a little bit closer. So we can look underneath the left armpit. We can possibly bring the right hand through to the outer side of the left leg, and that might draw us through a little bit more. We release. We come down. We take the left leg. It's going to tap to the other side. Just tapping the toes. And then from here, we're transitioning into sitting. So we have the legs softly bent. And we're going to let the feet flex. Hopefully, here now we can feel the heel bones. We can tap them. Then we can squeeze the Achilles tendon. So this tendon will have two muscles it connects with to make the communication with the heel bones, and it connects with the calf muscles. There are two, one on top of the other. So we'll come up now, feel into the calf muscles. Then we bring the feet in a little bit more and just run your hands underneath the backs of the knees. Now you might feel something like piano wire, quite taut, strong tendons. There are two on the inside and one on the outside, and this is the attachment for the hamstrings. So if you squeeze the back of the upper legs, there are three muscles here, and they will attach into the lower leg via these tendons, which we've come back to rub. If you take hands under one leg and just lengthen and bend, you can feel them. And then the other. Coming to tap the knee bones like we did in the beginning. So feeling that density of bone. So tissues are designed for different things. Bones very much give the structure and transport the weight of the body. Just sliding the hands down. So there is a ligament that will connect the kneecap into the tibia, the larger of the two lower leg bones. And then we're bringing the soles of the feet together, palms up if possible, and sliding. So you might just slide a little bit. You might find that you can bring your elbows right under the lower legs. And then sliding all the way out. The hands are coming to the back. We're bringing the soles of the feet together. And we're having a butterfly flutter, or a still butterfly. We're taking this into spinal twists, knees one way, then the other. But that's a little bit quicker. And then we come back, we bring the fingers forwards, make sure the legs are in parallel. We lift up through the torso. We can stay here or we can lift up into the reverse table. We come back down, hands underneath the backs of the legs. We come to balance in the half boat. You might take the arms out. We bring them in. If at any point you want to bring the feet down, you can. See if you can bring the legs together. Let them extend. You might release the arms. And then we come back. The legs are lengthening in front. They can be relaxed, pointed, flexed. Take hold of the elbows, resting just above the knee. You can release there, or if you want more, you can come all the way down. And then we get ready to do it all again a little bit quicker. So finishing with the forward fold. Coming back. So I'm angling myself a little bit so you can see the next section, but you don't need to. So the arms are out and we're circling the left arm 4 times. And we bend the legs. The left foot comes over. We lift up the right hand to the right foot, and then that left arm comes up and back. So this is the twisted boat. You might find that this is where you want to be. You can be still, you can have a rock. Some people might be able to extend. And then we'll try it on the other side. So, the right arm we bend the legs. It will be the right this time that comes over the left hand to the left foot, which is underneath. The right arm comes up and back. You can stay bent. You might find that you can lengthen. Then we come out. So we're taking the opposite arm towards the other one, somehow making a support. It could be at the wrists, it could be at the elbows, and letting the left leg hang out. Then the left leg is going to become a baby head, and you can rock, the other leg can lengthen. Some people might be able to take the foot into the opposite elbow. It brings the leg up higher, and you can rock there. Coming out, coming to either have the palms open here, supporting underneath the lower leg. Some people might be able to get the elbows and then bring the hands into prayer. And we're just finding a stillness. We release and get ready for the other side. So we're either supporting elbows or wrists. Let's have a. So the leg is really relaxed. So it's very different to placing it where you're holding the leg like that. This is So that's why there's such a strong support underneath the back, so it can relax out. And then as a baby, the head, the feet, a rock, possibly the foot into the elbow. You come up higher on that rock. And then hands underneath, palms up. It might be if the elbows can support, you can bring the hands up into prayer. Flex foot. And then we're into our last flow in sitting. So we're going to let the right leg bend. We're going to take the left leg. It flexes up, doesn't touch the floor to come down, and then points up, doesn't touch, flexes, and points. Then it's going to come in either below or above the knee. You can come in a bit more if you want a deeper feel, and then a little flutter. That releases. The left leg lengthens while the right leg bends, and we forward fold. We're coming out of this. The right hand comes down, the left foot turns. We have a reach or a reach and a lift. And then back down. The hands can be behind, you can hold at the elbows. If you want more, and it is available to you, the left arm comes up, it bends behind, and possibly the fingers may touch. Whichever you're in, elbows or hands, take another forward fold. And then finding your way out. Coming back in. So this leg, left leg, is going to stay bent. The right is lengthened. We flex it up. We come down without resting on the floor. We point up and down. We flex and we point. When we come down this time, we're either taking it below or above the knee, having a flutter. If you want it deeper, then the foot just stays here rather than coming right across. We let now the right leg lengthen while the left leg bends, and we forward fold. Finding your way back up, the left hand down, the right foot turned. We reach, we might stay here, we might take it up, and then we come down. We can take hold of the elbows. If that's not comfortable, you could take hold of the wrists. If more is desired and is accessible, we will then take the right arm up. It bends back, possibly the fingers touch, and we fold. All the way back up, releasing, and then we're finding our way down onto our backs. So bringing the hands to the face and giving touch here, feeling the difference between muscle and bone. Bringing touch to the back of the neck. So on the midline, if you press in, you can feel bone. To the outer edges, muscle. Keeping the hands here, let the elbows draw down a little bit. And see if you can roll the head from side to side so you're feeling that movement through your hands. Next time head is on the midline, bring the hands down to the lower rib cage. Receive your breath here. So the in and out flow of breath creates this feeling of movement underneath your hands, where it expands and contracts a little, maybe a lot. You can possibly feel underneath your hands the rib bones. So you have rib bones moving, moved by the muscles. Letting the breath awareness melt to the background, leaving the hands where they are. Take the right leg, let it cross possibly above the knee, if that's too much, at the ankle. And then bring both knees, keeping the lower foot connected to the earth, down to the right. Your hands will slide. And then gently bring that up, and the knees are slowly going to go the other way. We look in the opposite direction, the spinal twist. We come back. Then the other side, so it will be the left leg crosses either below the knee, above the knee. We're going to the left this time, so it's the upper leg, drawing it down. Coming back through the center to go to the right, head to the left. Coming back to the midline, uncrossing the legs. We're taking the right leg now, it's coming up. We're tapping the knee bone, stroking, imagining the ligament. Hands at the back of the knee, the 3 tendons, 2 on the inside edge, 1 on the outside. Let the leg lengthen and bend. Just feel this movement. Just let it hang there softly. Squeeze the hamstrings at the back. Then squeeze the quads 4. And these will come into the kneecap. So these 4 are tapering in here. Then the foot just gently rests over. And again, see if you can feel into the calf muscles. You can see how relaxed mine are because I'm not using them. You might be able to come into the Achilles tendon and possibly even tap the bone. And we'll circle that around. And then the other way. Place the foot down. Just notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Difference in weight, temperature, feeling. And then the left leg, tapping, imagining that ligament, feeling the hamstring tendons, letting the hands be still and extending, flexing to feel the movement. Then squeezing the hamstring. You might feel where they connect into the pelvis. And then the quads will then come into the kneecap. We turn out the leg, just rest it. See if we can come into the calf muscles in some way. Possibly you might have to take the foot off, the Achilles tendon, and then the bone into circling one way, then the other way. We soften that leg back. Just see if it's changed in any way from when you had a sense of it a few moments ago. We're back to the right. We're lifting it up, we're opening it, and we're taking our left hand to the groin, so those tendons again. We're opening and bending, or extending and bending to the side. You might feel the tendons at the groin moving very subtly. That comes back in and we change sides. So we felt these in standing. We did the knee bends in one of the flows. All right, this time just leave the leg there. Take the hand from the groin, place it underneath the other leg. The elbows are down and extend and flex. So we flex the feet and then point feet. Let that relax. Come into parallel. The hands somewhere on the outsides of the legs. Some of you might be able to connect to the feet, keeping the lower legs directly up to the ceiling if possible. If you are holding the feet, you might be able to press the knees towards the armpits. Wherever your hands are, come to gently rock in happy baby, side to side. Let that settle. Legs come down. The hands are coming underneath the lower back. One leg lengthens. We push through the hands. We bring the chin towards the chest. And just find a gentle way back up to sitting. And then from here, finding your most comfortable sitting position to finish. It might be with lengthened legs. It might be with some form of crossed legs, or one lengthened and one bent. Whichever you've chosen, allow the spine to grow up to the sky and down to the earth simultaneously. And have a tap again, the bone, bones connected by ligaments. Then feeling again the tendon here for the biceps muscle and the other side. Your sinews sincere sinews. And then bringing the hands, this time they can touch the heart. Closing your eyes, tuning into how your body is at this moment, the tingles, the temperature, the weight. Feeling the surrounding air, its temperature. The feelings that it arises in you. And then softly opening the eyes to the light, to the colours, to the textures and shapes of your space. And thank you. So you may need a little time now to reacclimatise, but you might want to touch the outer surface of yourself. There may be some movements you want to do. You may want to be quiet, but I'll leave that all with you. And come again to say thank you very much for joining me with Sincere Sinews.